Hello and welcome back to Liferay University and the Liferay Commerce Training. In today's video, we are going to be going over the setup of your Liferay Commerce instance. That's our first exercise. We're going to start by opening up a folder and going to your C drive if you're on Windows. Let's go down here to your local disk C, and your user home if you are on Linux or Mac. Since I'm on Windows, I'm going to create a new folder in the C drive and call it Liferay. And since I actually have a Liferay folder here, I'm going to call mine Liferay Commerce. But go ahead and just call yours Liferay unless you already have a Liferay folder as well. And then within that Liferay folder, we're going to add another folder. Go click New Folder and call this Bundles. And this part's the same whether you're on Linux, Mac, or a PC. Okay, now that that directory's been created, we're going to come over here and find your Liferay bundle, your Liferay Commerce bundle. I have it in a 7-zip file right here on the desktop. And we're gonna right-click and we are going to unzip it or extract it to that bundles folder. So let's choose that. Another thing to note, if you're on Windows, do not use the standard Windows unzipping tool. Use 7-zip or some other third-party zip. And we're gonna come down here to local disk, that Liferay Commerce folder, bundles, and click OK, and then click OK again. And we'll wait for that to extract. This might take a little bit of time. And once it's finished, almost finished here, once it's finished, we will open it up and move on to the next step. All right, when that's finished, you can go ahead and run the installer for your exercise files. That's pretty simple, just double click on it. I already have my exercise files installed. And then you can go ahead and follow through with the installation steps. It should be pretty self-explanatory, and you can follow along with the exercise on the right if you need to. All right, after that, you're gonna come over here to your bundles folder, open it, open up your Liferay folder, open up the Tomcat folder within that. You're gonna go to the bin, and then you're gonna come down to the startup.bat. This is if you are on Windows, and you're gonna double click it. So if you're on a Mac, you simply want to open up this same directory in your terminal and type what you see in the exercise steps to the right, which should be /catalina.sh run into your terminal, and it'll do the same thing. Open up this Tomcat console. All right, and so while we're waiting for that, we're gonna wait for the deploy folder. Actually, it's already out here, so we're simply just gonna open that up and we're gonna copy our activation key. Mine is right here. I'm gonna copy that and paste it into here. All right, and once that's done, you can just wait, and eventually your browser will open up at localhost 8080, and we'll move on from there. Okay, and eventually Liferay starts up on your default browser at localhost 8080 up here. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is fill out all the basic Liferay setup wizard information. So we're gonna do the basic configuration here. And for the portal name, we're going to type Livingstone Supply Management. I'm gonna uncheck the Add Sample Data box. We are going to leave the default language as English, but if you feel more comfortable in another language, you can always change it here. Next, we're going to type the first name Timothy and the last name Lawrence. And we're going to change the email to timothy.lawrence livingstone.com. Lastly, we're going to click the Finish Configuration button before moving on to the next page. Here we have the placeholder for the terms of use, and we're going to click I agree. We're going to type a password. I like to use test. Type it again. Test's easy, you can type it with one hand, easy to remember. Click save, and then move on to the password reminder question. I'm just going to leave the default question, what is your father's middle name? And of course, my father's middle name is Test, or Timothy Lawrence's father's middle name is Test. Click save, and you should be redirected to, yes, here it is, the welcome page of your Liferay instance. And so a few things that are different. Down here, we have this commerce section, which we'll get into more later in following exercises. And over here in the widgets, we have this commerce section here, which has some new widgets specific to commerce that we'll get into more later as well. All right, that concludes this exercise. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.